Hey guys, it's Board Gamer Review here again, and I have not put out any content in a few weeks actually because I don't have any, but I am going to address, first of all, this is my email via Hotmail. I'm viewing it with my playbook, so I'm just going to go through and address a couple of questions. Also, I'm going to go into the material that I have as far as the cards, how I organize them, and maybe help you guys a little bit when you're building your decks. Okay, first of all, I want to comment from, who is this gentleman here? I don't see the name on here. But anyway, wants me to build decks for each individual faction that I have as well as class. I would rather show you how I make a deck in general than show you how to make a specific deck. Basically, you know, as the old saying goes, teach a man to fish, he can eat forever. Catch a man to fish, he can only eat for one day. So if I teach you how to build a deck in general, then you should be able to build your own decks. Then, no, you're not going. Your deck that you build is not going to be perfect. As I said before, there's no such thing as a perfect deck that will beat everything. You're gonna build a deck that might be strong against a certain type of other deck, but you'll be leaving yourself wide open for a totally different deck. So once you come to that realization, then you might, you're gonna win, you're gonna lose. That's just the way the game of it is. If there was the way to make a super deck, then the game is broken at that point, and there's no point in playing it. So that addresses this question. So I will not be making, I appreciate your comment, but I will not be making videos on how to build a hunter deck or a warrior deck or a warlock deck. I will always show you, if asked, what decks I have, but I really want to stay away from showing you how to build a particular deck. Moving on to the next one. This is Maxor132, as you can see. Okay, visit his channel, Maxor132. What card sleeves do I use? Dragon shields or what? I use the Ultra Pro card sleeves. I'll show you those in a second and how you can differentiate. Well, I'll do it now. Let me just go grab one. They're very basic sleeves. It might not come out well in the thing. One of the things you'll notice is the little silver dot on here says Ultra. Oh, I think it's Ultra Pro. Okay, you can get them in various colors, packs of 50s, packs of 100s. I actually like these ones more than Dragon Shields, and I don't like all the fancy pictures on the back of them or anything like that. And these ones are fairly sturdy. I don't put my cards through a lot of crap, so they serve me well. The next question is from Scorpio Striker PS3. Again, thank you again for watching my video, Scorpio Striker PS3. By all means, if you have the cards, play with them. I mean, a lot of people collect these cards strictly for the loot, and that's a shame, actually, because the game itself is really good. Dig them out, play with them, learn how to play. Your starter deck only came with 40 cards. Well, back in the day, I think the rules, it was only 40 cards. I can't verify that at the moment, but I do think the starter decks only came with 40 cards to get you to buy booster packs as well. But nowadays the decks are minimum 60 cards, and you can go over 60. I would not suggest going too far over 60 because you're going to water down your deck and make it hard to get the cards that you want. Alright, congratulations on going to the store and grabbing your booster packs. Moving on to the next one. This is Tortured Fraggles. This is a long one. Let's see here. It's cool to see you still around. Shame. Oh, thank you. Oh, and the other thing too is thank you for everyone's support on my last video. Yes, trolls can be a pain in the ass, and I deal with them, and I just had enough at one point, and I got tired of it. But moving on. Enough about that. WoW is very close to MTG. I prefer the WoW theme and the WoW extra rule. I'm not too familiar with the rules these days for WoW and how they've changed, if they have or have not. I haven't bought any cards in quite some time. I'm happy with the cards that I have. I also like to buy the cards when the older blocks, when the newer blocks come in, because the older blocks actually, because they can't play in the tournament, go actually pretty cheap. So yeah, WoW is very similar to MTG. I prefer WoW. Going to, I don't have a name on this. Oh, Scorpio Striker again. WoW TCG Online. No, there are no plans, to my knowledge, to play WoW TCG Online. However, there are workarounds to this. There are software programs out there that you can download for free. I cannot remember the one that I used, but both players have to have the program installed into their computer. I will try and look that up later and let you know via the little thingy thing at the bottom. Or if someone else can help out and they can put that in there. There is a couple of programs, a couple of websites that you can go to. Just type in WoW TCG Online or Play Online or something to that nature. You can actually download, last time I did it, you can download a full set of all the cards and play with them on a virtual table, so to speak. There is some tweaking to be done to do that with both players and how their systems work, getting through firewalls and all that kind of garbage, but it definitely can be done. Good luck with that, and I'll see if I can put something down in the comments or underneath this thing for the video. Moving on to the next question. Is going to be, please don't stop making videos. I just got it. Well, thank you very much, Cap D Guma. I do not plan on stopping making videos. There might be a little bit of a lull because I don't have any real content to show you people, and I don't want to bore you with crap. So I do plan on buying a couple of more card sets or something like that to show you the champion decks. That should be coming up shortly. Again, thank you for watching my videos. Moving on to the next one. This is Keep It Up, really helpful. Thanks. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but thank you for the comment. Moving on. Thanks for taking to make this video. Well, you're very welcome. Can't see the name on here, but I'm sure it's on the comment section. Brisley QQ made a comment. Does the spec of your hero affect the abilities that you have in your deck? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. There are special abilities that only a particular hero can use, and it would be identified. I haven't played this game in so long, so I don't really know. For example, if you're a Death Knight, there's cold spells, there's other stuff. The answer is basically yes. Take a look at the rules set again, and you'll know what I'm talking about. Just read through the rules one more time, and you should. If you don't, just PM me. What are raid decks? Raid decks are different than starter decks. Raid decks are geared towards multiplayer, and starter decks are just one deck for one person to get into the game. Normally the game is played with two people, one-on-one, and raid decks are something to simulate the MMO, where a group of people will play co-op and fight against the raid deck. You will also need in a raid deck a fifth person to play the raid deck, from my understanding. And these raid decks are also different from dungeon decks. Dungeon decks are similar in the fact that it's a group of people playing co-op against another deck. However, the deck is automated to a certain respect. So you have raid decks, you have starter decks, and then you have dungeon decks. And I just did a couple of videos not so long ago about dungeon decks. I don't own any raid decks, or I would show you how to do raid decks. Actually, this is a comment on one of my dungeon decks. Moving on, I don't understand the resource system. Can anyone help? The resource system are the cards that go... I do have some videos on the resource system. Can you be more specific about what you don't understand about the resource system? It's fairly simple, but I don't want to do a whole video based on the resource system. I would like to do it something specifically geared towards what you're having a problem with. So PM me or something like that, and I can probably try and help you out. Here's another one. How many cards are there in a deck? A standard deck nowadays, again, is 60 cards. Okay, so I've had some people ask me, what's my setup? What materials do I use? How do I organize? And how to build a deck. So we're going to do that right now. We're not going to make a deck, but I'm going to show you how I organize and why I organize to build a deck. Back in a sec. Okay guys, so basically I turned autofocus off because it gets annoying and it won't focus on what I want it to focus on. So we're going to move right around the room. I'm sorry for the vertigo that you're going to get here. That's my little hobby table there. This is with regards to the organization of your cards and why you want to organize your cards. You might not organize your cards the same way I organize mine, but find a system that works and works for you. That way it makes building your decks a little bit easier. There's certain ways you could build decks. Sorry, I'm organizing behind me. And you can build decks virtually online, then purchase the single to create that deck, and then go that way. If you buy your cards by the box, this is not a bad way to organize your cards. What I've basically done, this is a portion of the cards that I own for the World of Warcraft. Now, I've actually gone in and I've bought these plastic dividers here, and I've just put a sticker with iconography on it to help me quickly identify what the group of cards is that's behind that divider. Now, I've got them divided into heroes, abilities, classes, etc., like that. So this is the pool of cards that I have to work with over here and over here. Locations, resource cards. I've got hero cards. As you can see, I've got my location card here, more location cards back in here. If you further go on, you're going to see that these are my hero cards back here. So these are Alliance heroes. You can see that. And these are my Horde. Sorry, not heroes, allies. And then I got my Horde allies over here, which also continue on all the way down in here. Further, when I actually organize it, I put them in order as to their expense, or how much they cost to play. So ones, and then ones over here, further ones, then I get into the twos, then I get further into the threes. It just makes it easier when I'm building a deck. If I want to have a certain combination of ones, twos, and threes, I like to build a balanced deck, so basically the deck is not super powerful and I have to wait for high-end cards to come out or be able to play high-end cards. I know if I've got 49 cards and I've got some space left over, I want to put a couple of low-cost cards in there that I can get on the table, or whatever theme you're going with for your deck. So first and foremost is be organized. Have your cards, know your cards, and know where they are. So this is the first step in building, in my opinion, in building a good deck, is be organized. Second step is, and this is all personal preference, second step is to figure out which side, which faction you want to play for. Do you want to play for Alliance? Do you want to play for Horde? And you can also now have monster decks. I don't have any monster cards, but you can also have monster heroes. Okay? Once you establish which one of those three factions that you would like to use as your deck, then it's simply finding out what class you want to play for. And that again is personal preference. You might like the idea of playing as a rogue, or prefer warrior, or prefer something else. Okay? So first is organize. Figure out what faction you want to play with, and then what class you want to play with. Now, what type of deck do you want? Do you want a rush deck? Do you want a control deck? Or do you want a fairly balanced deck? I normally go for the balanced deck because I just like playing the game. I'm not really in there to kick someone's butt, like right off the hop. And my cards, as far as I know, don't allow me to really do that. And then secondly, once you've figured out all that, it's just picking the cards you want to play. I get a lot of questions for what are the ratios that I need between allies and locations and resource cards. That will depend on the style of play that you like. You can play a solo deck, which just basically has no allies in it whatsoever. You're just buffing up your hero to attack the other person's team of allies. Again, there are strengths and weaknesses to this type of deck, and there's strengths and weaknesses to basically every type of deck. I know I'm trying to be as generic as possible in this video about how to build a deck, and you know, I might get some hate for that, but building a deck is very preferential. Okay, the tools that I use when I build my other tools that I use to store my deck, transport my stuff. Obviously, you're going to see these two large card boxes. I think they hold like 3,200 cards or something like that. Some insane number. Then I've got, obviously, when you buy the Epic collections, you get these storage boxes, which are full of cards. You can, for $1 or $2, you can get these card things that are full of, that's the wrong label on there. These are also full of cards, and they hold a substantial amount of cards. Most people don't need to actually have that many cards. This is, by the way, is a great way to do it. Buy them on eBay, and you can get like a whack load of cards. Just be careful where you buy them from. I said that in the last video. Store cards that you intend to play with, if you want to carry around with you. These tin boxes are not a bad idea. Deck vaults, you can get them in plastic. Again, these ones are Ultra Pro. I think there's several other manufacturers. I kind of like the tin ones. They're a little heavy to carry around if you've got a lot of them. I use them actually to store my supplies. Like this is my penny sleeves. One of the things you're going to notice is some of the cards in here, if you haven't noticed already, some of the cards in here, most of the cards in here do not have sleeves on them. Okay, the only ones that do have sleeves on them are going to be my rares or my ultra rares. Like for example, this card here. Okay, this one has a penny sleeve. Sorry for the glare. This one has a penny sleeve on it just to protect the card. If I choose to play with this card, I'll remove it from the penny sleeve and put it in an ultra sleeve like that. Okay, again, I do stock, or try and keep a stock of the red and the blue. Okay, so I'm going to make another deck. It's not a bad idea to have a few of these packs on hand. These are not a bad idea for your heroes. They're relatively sturdy. Okay, very firm, and you can just slide your card in there. And I like them. They're a little overkill for most people, but I kind of like them. Another way of organizing, if you don't want to go the route of using all of these little plastic inserts and printing off icons and crap like that, is you can, when you get the Epic collections, you also get these things. And they will help divide your cards into categories, less specific than the ones that I've generated for myself, but better than not organized at all. Again, I apologize for the vertigo you guys are probably going through right now. These single boxes, you can get in various sizes. Ones that hold like 100 cards, 250 cards, 1,000 cards, and things like that. This is another thing you should look for. I was able to get this at my particular comic shop or / card shop, dirt cheap, relatively speaking. In order to get the whole set of commons and uncommons, any other way would have cost me maybe $100 to open up a bunch of booster packs. Yes, I would have gotten some of the really good cards, but for $25 I just wanted some cards to fill my thing. These cards are really hard to get now. So that being said, oh, there was another question. Do you need to use dice? No, you don't need to use dice, but you do need to use something for counters. And simply set, dice for me, dice for me in this tin container is the best way to go. That's just my opinion. And that's where I keep all my dungeon decks over there. Transportation, the best way I've seen to do it, if you go to the comic store or a gathering or tournament or something like that, don't take all of your cards. Do your research, build your deck in advance. What I've actually done is I've taken one of the Epic collections, and you've seen it before, I've showed it before. I've put like 10 decks, maybe, I think, inside one of these boxes, separated and organized. So it's got what I need in there. What is in this one? For example, I've got a deck in here that I'll use. I think this one is one of the starter decks. Hold on, let me just try. Yeah, this is just 2 starter decks in here. Unsleeved because they're only starter decks. I don't really care. So, and that just fits in there. You can get a bunch of these boxes, put them side. I think you can probably get about eight of those boxes in there. So, and that's this video, guys. Like I said, I am looking forward to getting some champion decks tomorrow. We'll see how that goes, and I'll do a box opening for you. Alright guys, catch you later. Oh yeah, and sorry for the long-winded video.